Hi. Hello. And welcome to the Partner Panel. So, I gotta say, man, as far as April 1st, April Fool's goes, this was one of the best April Fool's posts I've seen as far as the games that I follow. You know, that little thing in there, we'll get to it,
Yeah.
And then on top of that, dude, there's a lot of good shit in here. Actually, there's actually a lot of good shit in here that when I was looking at it, I was like, this is the kind of shit I want to see. Low key.
Yep. This is some good stuff. I like it.
Facts. It's
So,
probably one of the best.
bro, I think it's the best weekly update so far.
Mm-hmm.
Like as far as showing us, you know, mechanics that are going to be implemented, as far as showing us something visually attractive, something to look forward to down the road, as far as I just felt like it gave us a little bit of everything.
Right.
So let's just do this. Go ahead.
I think the other weekly updates just had smaller versions of this. You know, like we go back to the ability to throw your rock, as Gideon, it still happens. Even though you got thunked or whatever, like it's still if you already made the motion, it's still gonna happen. So seeing though that you just had like a little bit, that was basically the main of that weekly update, and then you have but this one's got more chunks of that. So it's very nice to see. So
I definitely like this style more, I would say.
And this one also shows you the future. Like, hey, this is our plans for the future as well. And that one really, I like to see that because we don't have a roadmap anymore. This now is that roadmap that they kind of.
I don't like that, by the way, not having a roadmap.
I understand it.
Yeah, like
right.
I understand it. You feel me? Like as far as deadlines, this and that, definitely a lot better just to kind of be on the go, so to speak. But I definitely did enjoy having the roadmap because it was like a two-part.
No, I agree.
I knew what was coming at certain times, and it was like accountability for them. Like, are you actually going to deliver on what you're saying? You know what I mean?
I think what ends up happening is, go ahead.
I was gonna say I saw Bucket pointing. I felt like you wanted to say something.
No, I felt like what ended up happening. I mean, with the old roadmap, we just really kept under delivering on times and everything, and then we just kind of came to the conclusion that even though we do want to deliver these things on time, the order, we can't really put a time and date on when we're going to be able to release certain things, and we've been seeing that was going on, or else we would have a solid release date for this coming patch right now, right? So it's just been kind of like up in the air, and then they're starting to get into those times. And coming from testing, I know that things kind of just like are up in the air with how we can get it out. But
no, and I think the biggest thing with the roadmap though was the dates, and what we got down here, we'll get to it, is there's no dates on these things. This is just something that they're saying, well, what we want, and that's what I want to know. I want to know what the plan is, because when I first started playing Fall and I didn't know about the Trello page, I didn't know that river buffs were going to be a thing, right? I started playing Fall. There's no river buffs. Like, okay, do they plan on doing that? I don't know. And then I found out, getting more into the Discord, finding out what's going on. Found out there's a Trello page. Like, oh, look down the line. Oh, they do plan on bringing river buffs in. This is all right. This is gonna be evolved even more. So now that we get to see this, I don't need dates. I mean, I get what Windu's saying. Kind of holds them accountable and also updates us. Two double-edged sword. Good to go there, right? But I don't need dates. I just want to know what the plan is, so I can talk to my community or talk to anybody. Like, hey, don't worry, man, that's coming. I'm on the Facebook page too. People are sitting there talking things about that. It's like, oh no, they already plan on doing this. This is future stuff. Don't worry, it's coming.
Which like we've talked about it in the past before. I'm definitely am a guy that likes those days, like like a set day, or give me something solid. Like, hey, we plan on doing all this by December, or this is our 2021 goals or something, you know what I mean? Like, at least give me something. I definitely don't like it's like, hey, we plan on doing all this eventually.
Yes. So SMS to satisfy Windu, just put 2024. By then you should be good, I think. He'll be happy. It gives him a date, gives him something to look at. And,
if he
get it by 2021, he's happy. All right, you
I
said
mean,
2024.
that's good marketing. Low key. Low key. I'm just saying.
Exceeded expectations if we get it all out this year.
No, that
Real
that
quick,
was for
but
sure.
what we can do, we can compare this to the first one of those dev blogs that actually had the list of stuff that we were going through, because the one that we have at the end of this weekly update where it says "and more" is, I would say, substantially shorter than that list. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you gotta also be mindful. A lot of the things mentioned prior to, even though it might have been very, very simple, like the ability rework system, like the UI and stuff like that, like they've slowly been, kind of like Cooch said, they've slowly been like throwing a little bit here, a little bit there, just kind of filling us in. So a lot of work is getting done. I'm just very curious as to, is all the work that we've talked about so far since these weekly updates, will that come in patch 13? Because like we mentioned, like they mentioned in one of the previous posts, patch 13 isn't the full release of the game. Some of the stuff that they talked about is just aiming for full release, some of the things that they're working on. So there is a very fine line distinction there as to, hey, we're getting all these in the next, we're getting some things in the next update, but some things we're just gonna have to wait on. Which is which, we just don't know, quite frankly.
Right.
And that's where, again, me, I'm like, hey, I would like at least a little black and white, clear indicator, like, hey, you are getting at least these. So I definitely like the fact that they start off this update again with specifically mentioning we want to show you a few more things coming with patch 0.13. So
Right.
almost like insinuating that what we're about to talk about is going to be in patch 13, or at least they're hoping for.
Right.
Now, the look of the shrines, did you notice that now the orb isn't as see-through? Because we were complaining about it last week, or I was complaining about it, excuse me, that the actual orb, or I guess we could call it an orb, that little, the Dungeons and Dragon dice.
I think it still might be. All right. The reason
you think so? When you grab it, maybe?
Yeah, because right now you're seeing, if it's see-through, right? You're seeing something very similar to the same color behind it. So what would you be able to tell that it's not see-through?
Well, I'm gonna go on a limb and say I'm not able to see it because the actual glow lines are pretty solid, you know what I mean? And we can't see lines within lines, you get me? Like a kind of see-through object. It definitely looks a lot more solid and glowy, I guess you could say.
You're actually like spot on with that one. That's the other one was very translucent, while this one is very solid. You can definitely tell. The other one, when you can see it on the page, it's like kind of like vibrating in and out. But this one is 100% solid. I mean, it's just one of those effects. I feel like when you pick it up, it's just gonna be like that, right?
Now, maybe.
No, I'm still.
But
I'm still seeing
personally like
the
this
lines
visual.
of the chest. I'm still seeing the lines through the chest. If you look in between the triangles, watch when the shrine glows. Those lines through the chest, you can see it through the triangle, the lines of the triangle. You can see it. But I'm saying, I'm saying
maybe
don't get your hopes up, because like right now you're looking at something with the background of the being, put it in something that's going to be not that same color background and see what you see then.
Now, I do find it interesting that they chose to show us the different colors in one cycle.
Yes, I looked the same thing. I'm like,
yeah. So the question then would be, it's just a visual representation. It's like, hey, this is just a quick way for us to show you that all our shrines are going to look identical. They're just going to be different colors, because we already know there are specific locations for specific shrines. But we're seeing one shrine that's changing colors right now. So it's very easy to make the assumption that there might be one shrine that just does the fucking toss up. You might get what you get.
And it could be something like, I was looking at it, like that could be confused in the way of like, depending on when you actually destroy it, whatever color it was glowing at that time is what you get.
But
bro, could you imagine?
There's another layer to this though, because they're gonna have. Because look at the actual shrine, right? This isn't something that's actually located in the spots that we think they're located in. No, they're saying that it's going to be, because these statues already exist in a predetermined location on the map, right? So are we going to be doing anything with those other statues, or are we adding the statues into the indents of the map already?
I mean, he definitely isn't holding any shit up. So I don't know. Like, my thing is, you bring up a good point, because it definitely just looks like he's floating against a random backdrop. Like, they just randomly placed him somewhere. So could it be that they're contemplating on the fact of a rotating buff? And if you want the buff you're waiting for, now you gotta wait a couple seconds, fucking up your rotation, fucking up your actual, your ganking potential. Let's say you want that green buff right before you gank as a jungler, but you're like, fuck, it's on blue. Okay, it's on yellow. Okay, it's on green. No, guys, wait. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I could
wild.
see that. Yeah. I could see that. My only issue is they already confirmed that there's specific ones in specific areas. For example, blue shrine being on the outside of the mid lane.
Mid lanes, yep. Green is.
You think they're withholding information here?
The yellow being the.
I hope so.
Do.
I hope.
I think we're all hoping for surprises in this patch, right? Like, obviously that we're not showing everything in the weekly update. That there's going to be stuff like maybe like this in the patch where there's like a random shrine.
And that's part of the reason why I like this update, because it gives us something to look at. It's exciting. It looks pretty fucking cool, quite frankly. That just looks like a Power Ranger.
Look badass.
Looks like a Power Ranger bad guy mixed with an ice cream cone. I low-key love it. But at the same time, it still provides more questions than answers by looking at it, and I really do enjoy stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yes. No, definitely. I personally think that is what you said when we first started talking about it. I think it's just their way of showing the 3 different colors. I think they put
without
this together.
Showing the shrine itself. Let's just throw this on a random corner.
Without just giving us 3 different locations. Like, here you go. Like, let's break this video up. It literally is just we're gonna have one shrine. Change colors to all 3 different colors. I think that's what this is. But it does make you ask questions to what we were just talking about. It could be something like could you imagine, like, start swinging on blue, like, oh no, turn green, hold up.
I know. So one thing too worth pointing out is that glowing animation looks pretty fucking dope from outside to the core center to the outside, etc.
Yes.
And you notice that as it reaches the center, that's when it just like, all right, now I'm changing colors. Like, it honestly could be something that they're like, hey, you know what? Like, we're just doing this to show, but at the same time, why make it look that clean if it's just a show? They literally could have just put 3 of them side by side. You feel me? They could have been a still image, 3 of them side by side. Why make a video looping of all 3 showing, all 3 cycling through? That's a lot of work for something that isn't going to be in there.
So they're dedicated to the community, and they wanted to show us something amazing.
Is it just a flex, or are we just that good, or what's going on?
No, it could just be a flex too, but like you said, like, it's perfect. It's because it does. It makes us ask those questions. It gives us this content right here. It could have easily been a still picture, and we're like, all right, those are the shrines. They look good. I like them. Look like ice cream cone. All right, move on. But instead we're still here. It's more content. So
you can actually, you can actually see that the dice. I'm just gonna call it a dice. You can see that the dice now, since it's like, at least to me, it looks less translucent. You can actually see the engravings on it, where beforehand
on the different sides. Yep.
Like these little icons, whatever the hell they mean, quite frankly, because we don't know. You know what I mean? So then it's one of those things that, are all of them going to have the same designs? Are we just looking at one specific design that they're just changing colors for us? Because when we looked at it previously, if you put all 3 colors side by side, they genuinely look, at least from those pictures, like each one kind of had their own little thing, their own flair going, design-wise.
Do you think that maybe those designs will be tied into the lore eventually sometime?
Took the words right out of my mouth, damn it.
You mean with the...
I would hope so, man.
With these wild ass names that are attached to these shrines? I mean, maybe it's possible. I hope so. Again, that's just tiny little things that it's like, hey, you know what? They can literally just throw some shit down the road. It's like, hey man, the carvings on this one is because of Iggy, because he found, like, he originally found it in the junkyards or whatever, and this is how he found it mangled up and whatever. You know what? They could throw whatever the fuck they want to in there. So, do you guys want to add anything else as far as the shrine goes before we move on to the next subject?
Not necessarily, honestly. I mean, this thing looks beautiful as it is. I got nothing else to say. We basically hit the hammer on the head for everything.
Yeah,
I do want to say, from what we did see, it does. There are things on it that does look brighter. The translucent side of it, I can't tell because like literally the backdrop looks very similar to what it is. So once you take it off and you're carrying it around the jungle into lane, we'll see what it looks like then. But even the lights on it does look brighter, so it's going to stand out even more from what we were seeing. So I do think, and I think that's something that was maybe changed, or could it be changed, or could it be because the one's actually in game and the other one was kind of like a video made? Could that be something different with
that's a good possibility too.
Quality of video or whatever.
If this is a rendered video, it doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be an end result that we see.
Right.
We've seen video game trailers and teasers and stuff like that all the time. For example, the Grim and Decker release video. Cool video, but my Decker definitely don't move like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The gadget video with the little drone crawling.
The little drone moving around.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So I mean, it's a good point. I just know that I hope the fact that it's a video or a GIF or trying to show something, you know, whatever their intent with this was. I just hope they don't touch the textures, because I really do like the way that looks.
Yeah,
like
it does look good.
Like even the texture of the actual shrine itself kind of blends into the background a little bit, but the glowing is what makes it stand out. To where you could literally walk right by it, but it's glowing. It's like, oh, okay, shit, it's there.
Well, speaking of that, like last week we were talking about how we got to know what the orbs were gonna be. We got to know the names of them and what the point of them was, the benefit, the buffs that you get out of them. But you asked, well, what does it look like? And we even, you know, our guest brought up that it could be something that they weren't ready to put the shrine out there, you know. What it looks like. That's what it was before, so that is a better looking situation than what we had. So I'm liking it. It's looking pretty fresh.
I'm excited for it. Now, I'll be honest, man. Am I the only one that actually is enjoying the news of a crosshair change?
I saw this crosshair change, and I'm sorry, Bucket, but like I thought about you right away, Windu, because you and me, when we did our
oh, look, it froze. Hold on.
still to see what you
hold on, literally your whatever you just said all came in at the same time on my side. It was a so whatever the hell you just said, can you say that again?
All right. Repeat it. Yeah. When we did our Let's Be Honest video, we talked about the crosshair and the Wintervale map and how it was white crosshairs on a white map. So the fact that we have this red dot on here, I saw this and I thought about you right away. I'm like, oh, I think Windu's gonna like this. The fact that it's got a red dot on it, it's gonna be something you can decipher. So, for sure.
If you actually notice, it's actually a red crosshair that it changes to. I don't know why I decided to go for that. It goes from a white dot to a red crosshair.
Yeah, it does. Yep.
Which I don't know why. Like I almost would have rather had a white crosshair and a red dot. You feel me? But you know, that's just being picky. I just like the fact that it's
a white
changing.
crosshair too.
No, it's a white.
No, it's white.
Well,
I
mean, like the inside is an actual.
No. I'm talking about but get closer. That white dot, is that a crosshair as well? It just looks bled together. Like it's hard to tell the.
No, yeah. Well, the thing is, on Narbash, I can clearly tell the cross pattern. Yeah. Whenever he moves off, I can clearly tell it's a circle. So it's just an interesting choice that that's what they went for. You know, it's not like we're landing headshots on here, so I guess that kind of makes sense. It's okay. Feel me?
Yeah. I think that this is probably one of my favorite changes, to be honest. Out of everything on here, this is my favorite just because of the fact that during the winter event, I thought the same thing as you guys. Yeah, the white on the white background, that felt very, very jarring, and you felt like you could like either miss or just lose your crosshair altogether. And on this, actually being able to like have an animation when you're like looking at somebody. How many times have you been a melee hero and you've been just out of range and you don't know if you're just out of range, but you're swinging and you're missing, and by that you're actually slowing your movement speed down. It's really frustrating. But this could be like, what's it called, the stepping stones to something that I would like in the future, and that's actually crosshair customization. Not too heavily, but something that they have in a couple other games where I can actually like choose.
Yeah.
Yes.
At least you'll be able to change the hue of it or the color. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean honestly, but being able to change it to a strictly green background is all I've ever wanted. So I mean, like I hope this actually paves the way for this.
Bro, I play with a pink crosshair in every game I get. So eventually, I hope to be there too. But I think there's one little thing that we might have missed that I know I definitely saw, and I'm like, hey, this is my favorite part of the new targeting. It's not that the crosshair changes. It's the fact that their health bar now has a targeting indicator also letting you know you are in range.
Ooh, I didn't even notice that.
On melee and
brackets.
range, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, in the melee one, the Sevarog one that we're looking at, it's definitely a little harder to see because it goes from white to orange, it looks like.
Yeah,
definitely a little harder to see. But if you're
definitely
big ass fucking Sevarog is, you know, body blocking the fuck out of them, and you're like, yeah, and then I don't know where they just step away. It's like, well, are they in range? You have a huge ass fucking health bar right there that has the line on it to let you know or not.
Yeah.
As a second indicator. I like the fact that there's a second indicator in general.
That's
there's
huge.
more than one visual cue for me to instinctively react and say, he's in range, left click.
Yep.
Without me having to be like laser focused smack dab in the middle. I can be actually looking at his health bar because I'm timing my abilities. I'm getting ready to siphon, for example, to you know, stack the kill, so to speak. So I'm looking at the health bar, but now while looking at the health bar, I also know if I'm in range. I like that shit.
How does this work? For I think Sevarog, his siphon, you could do it with a siphon, or Richter's pull. I wonder how that's going to be. Is it going to be Richter's pull? Is it going to be a lot like what we're seeing here with
I think it's with the Sparrow side. I think I think range abilities are going to be looking like the Sparrow, as far as being within range and applying damage. For example, like a Richter pull, right?
Yep.
But if we're talking about like Sevarog's subjugate that comes from the sky, I don't think we're going to be able to see any targeting like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
With this being kind of the range indicators, are they going to keep, or are they going to get rid of the on the ground range indicators that we currently have in game now?
So I hope they keep them.
So do I. So do I.
Bucket looks confused.
Yeah, because I mean, like you don't get to like see them in this one, and usually like you would be able to see it in something like this where Sparrows is. I mean, like it seems like we've gotten rid of it.
But you can have it turned off. It's something you can. It's something you can actually go into the menu and turn it off. You don't have to have that on right now. Like if we're playing, we go play it right now. You don't have to have that on.
And don't forget the targeting. And don't forget the targeting indicator literally only shows up on the ground at max distance. This Narbash is pretty fucking close, and the wall is pretty close behind him. It is very possible that targeting indicator is there just through the wall. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
How it just kind of fucking disappears if it's too close.
Yep. And I do know that some of the things they record in cinematic view or whatever. So that might be something that's not in the recording here, because if they put in cinematic view, you might not see the range indicator.
But if it were in cinematic view, we wouldn't see the health bar. You feel me?
We wouldn't see the abilities.
Or the ability icons under.
You're right.
So I think it might be more towards either turning it off or just because, I mean, think about it. You see the back of the wall? That's within range to land a basic attack on a minion.
Yeah.
That's perfectly within range. You could actually got a little bit more range than that. Yeah. So it could be very well possible there. Excuse me. Could be very possible as well. But
I feel like what if how do I say this? Is You can see in the sentence, it says the crosshairs in game have been slightly reworked to help players judge the range between targeting players. Now, is there going to be something extra for minions, or are we just going to have like a little bit of the same, where it's going to stay that, how I would say, a non-interactive crosshair the way it stands in its current state, which I feel like might be hard to get used to.
That's a great point, because quite frankly, minion targeting in general sucks. Like in the duo lane, when you got those minions stacked up on each other, and it's like, fuck, I gotta move like 7 feet to the right just to hit that one minion so I can get a clear shot.
The minions, though, right now already have something similar to the health bar. The health bar does highlight on the one that you are targeting. So it does have that already. So as long as they keep that, you still won't lose anything, I guess. I mean, yes, minion targeting does suck. That's one thing I do know. I'm not as competitive as other ones. I'm trying to learn still more, but that's one thing I do know. Minion targeting is really painful right now. But you do have that, so hopefully we don't lose that with what we got going on.
Yeah, like the actual interaction of the health bar, I don't have a problem with the way it is right now. I just think, I guess I would like to see them work on minion pathing and minion behavior more than actual minion targeting, right? Because like we can target them, and even if the health bar doesn't change or whatever, if it's easier to land a last hit simply by position, like a good example would be in League of Legends. In League of Legends, as soon as the minions arrive in the wave, all those ranged minions actually spread out like a fan.
Yeah, they don't stack on top of each other.
They're not just all huddled up.
Yep.
Like even the melee minions, if we're hitting the same target, hey, this one's standing here, this one's standing just to the right of it. Like they'll actually circle around and like their target before they actually just all stand like overlapping each other. It's almost like they have that invisible barrier that they can't overlap. Like
they line up like a firing squad almost. Yeah.
So wow,
that's something I didn't really think about.
I much rather would have that, because hitting a minion should be a thing of skill, quite frankly. Like there was a lot of complaint in the Monolith days where they put in the item that made last hitting just way easier, where the health bar would glow red and then bam, easy kill, bet anybody can last hit. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I definitely agree to the fact that it's like, hey, if you have the skill to last hit, but now you're about to pull this last hit, but now there's 3 minions that are shoulder to shoulder fused into each other. It's like, hey, I thought I was aiming at this one, but for some reason, the motherfucker on the left soaked up the shot. And I was aiming at this one. I'm like, son of a bitch. I just missed my siege. Like, my siege minion hit just went up the wazoo. Fuck. I'm behind.
I feel like at some point when we do actually get to the new map, because like you said, in League of Legends, I just thought about it. I've never really had a problem where I was trying to click one minion and I accidentally clicked the other, because they do fan out, like you were saying. And I was thinking about like maybe there's some way when we actually do make it to the new map, the way the verticality might be set up when you're on that hill, when you're on whichever side that you're on, maybe that'll make it a lot easier to get like the angle that you need if you're ranged, or like maybe if you're a melee, you're gonna have to walk up anyway, so it's probably not that hard. But I don't know.
Yeah,
even melees, it's still hard, because like you're sitting there trying to point, like they're all packed up, like it's literally you got to find that one little. All right, this is the one that my minions are attacking, so I got to last hit the minions hit it again. And like they're stacked on top of each other. Like, all right, I'm pointing at I feel like I'm pointing at it, but I'm still too far to the left. So you gotta like slowly get to the right. And if you go too far, now you're to the one to the far right. You can't get that middle one. It's a pain in the butt.
True.
And think of it like this too. The counter argument would probably be like, hey, they can put some sort of invisible barrier to prevent the minions from overlapping each other, and that would fix everything.
No clipping,
But then that exact same invisible barrier might cause a player to get body blocked when there's this much space in between the minions. And a player might feel like, I should have been able to go through. They weren't touching. You get me?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but there's probably some sort of way on the coding. I don't know. I'm not a coding guy, but to make something like true for like as far as passing through it, and then not true as far as like, for minions or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we have an aspect that lets you walk through minions. It's very possible that they just putting some sort of code where the minions react to each other in a specific way, but not with players.
I just realized I've never seen Rogue actually work.
Really?
Yeah. I just remembered that I tried to make it work in the beginning, but I never I never went back to it because I didn't remember if it got fixed or not. I think that's just a part that I missed. If
Bro,
it's
I'll be
fixed now, I
honest
might
with
go
you.
back to it.
I don't think I've ever ran Rogue. Like, since day one, I read it and I was like, yeah, that's not for me. I'll be all right.
No, it's not for an ADC. Definitely not.
Mhm.
I mean, argument could be made, but not a good one, quite frankly.
Yeah,
As
no,
far
yeah.
as I
I
see
mean,
it.
technically, yeah. I mean, okay, but technically, Bishop can be used for ADC too, but that doesn't mean it doesn't mean it's a good argument.
Touche. Now, this quick buy feature, I love this. I almost feel like they got this idea from the mobile MOBAs that we see.
Yes.
Because in mobile
I was
MOBAs,
saying the same thing.
yeah, mobile MOBAs, when you go to the store or when you back, immediately
It's
you can either
automatically
open up
flashing.
you can open up the item store, or it'll pop up, hey, these are the preset builds that you had. These are the three items, the first 3 items in your build. Which one would you like to build? And it's like, bet,
Yep.
you know what? I should go for my boots, or I'm going to go for my traditional first one, etc. Or you know what?
Yep.
Let's go to the third one. That one has anti-hero or whatever the fuck you got to set up. So if you can actually organize these to, you know, like, so that your suggested, your pre-made build shows up and it's a quick buy, I love that, because I absolutely, like, I really do get annoyed sometimes. And this is with every MOBA. That's just a personal pet peeve.
Definitely.
When I'm like, fuck, bro, what was that one item spelled again? God damn. Infinity Edge, was it?
Yeah.
No, that's not the one I'm talking about. Not Infinity
Wait,
Edge.
what do you-
What? Yeah. But you get what I'm saying? Like, and then you're like searching for items and shit. I'm giving you an example, bro. This man straight fell for it. Oh my God. I fucking can't. He's like, yeah.
I'm sitting here
I'm like, he's trying to find his spot. Yeah. That's
I don't
the
know
name
what
of the
game you're
item.
referring to. I don't know. Is
Oh, man. But
Bro, I'm slow.
no, you're good, bro. But well, what I'm saying is, as far as a quick buy feature, I absolutely love that, because even an unexperienced player that might look at the list, might look at the smart building and everything and be like, this is overwhelming. Somebody that just doesn't care about that and just wants to play, and you know, like a new player would literally be able to like, okay, Alt 1 quick buy, bet. All right, let's keep going forward. Like,
And
very
again,
easy. And from what I
this time-
see, it doesn't take up a lot of space, is what I was gonna say.
Oh,
Because
no,
like,
it does.
I love the fact that it's very simple, concise, not taking up a lot of space. You can't really tell too much from the surroundings, because
I mean, there is some
there's
dead
like-
space there.
no, there it is. There's like, room
I'm
could
kidding.
be made,
I'm
but
kidding.
I'm saying as far as everything goes, I'm not mad at it. They could even make the
No.
pictures a little bit bigger if that's the way that they're gonna keep it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It depends how
No,
clean they want
agree.
to make it.
I do like how, if we look under the actual item, they show you the
Hotkey?
Icons.
not the icons that what they can do. Like, this does damage. This does health. It gives you
A quick reminder.
Lifesteal.
yeah, life steal, all that stuff, adds all that to it, So I like how that shows you. It's like, all right, this item gives me this item gives me that. All right, I like that. The hotkeys, my question about the hotkeys, are we going to be able to change those? Are we going to be able to, like, if I can,
Like
change all my
keybinds?
items? Yeah, keybinds. Can I change those? If I don't want it to be Alt 1, can I
That's a
change
good
it to whatever I want? That's
can
what I
imagine
want.
we'd be
Because
able to.
I don't
Right.
see a world in the future where we wouldn't be able to change those. Unless
either.
they
I
wouldn't
just
have
hope
that
that's something-
functionality.
yeah, that's something I just hope they would automatically. Because can we change? Here's a question for you: can you change the keybinds for the affinities right now? If you wanted to add faction points to your affinities,
I think so.
can you change that? I haven't
I
tried
think
because
so.
I don't.
Yeah.
I honestly
I
don't
haven't
even do.
tried,
I
but I
literally
think
just
you
go.
can.
I just always go and click. I haven't even used the points yet.
Personally clicked myself, but I unbound them because there was, to be honest, it was just interfering with testing. So I was just like, fuck it, and I just pushed them off to the side.
Okay.
Now, let me blow your minds here for a little bit. Check this out.
Mm-hmm.
My theory is this quick buy is going to be 100% reflective on your currency. I'll tell you why. You notice we have legendary, terminology, legendary items, finished items, with the icon on the top left, the gold,
Yes.
indicating that it's the finished item. You remember there were tiers, bronze
Yep.
and silver on the items. Why is it showing us as these are gold items here? What if I, like, you get me? What if I came back with only 500 gold? It's not going to show me gold items. It's going to show me silver items. I think this is one of those tester things that they did, is like, let's just make 50,000 gold just so that all the items will show up for the picture.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Because as far as quick buying goes, it makes zero sense that those 3 items are going to show up and I only got 750 gold when I went back.
Right.
In a perfect world, you'll go back with a few G's. In the average world, you might not. I think those are actually going to be situational based off of what you were building. Like if you started building the boots, I think it might be an option to continue to upgrade your boots or move towards a new item.
I think so. Let me see if I understand what you're saying. Like, if I didn't have enough to afford these, they would show me something else that is affordable in my range.
Correct.
Yes.
Like even an item that would build
within
into
your
these.
build. Correct.
Yep.
But you think that they would? Okay. I think inversely. I don't think that's gonna be the case, because let's say that you're a newer player or whatever, and it tells you to build I don't know, maybe the gun part for Devourer's blade, and that doesn't necessarily like bring you to think that you're building it into something. I feel as a new player, it's like, oh yeah, I'm building this, and then eventually you're building that, and then something gets pulled out of your inventory because you built something else. I think that those people are going to be a little bit more confused.
I feel like end up split building like crazy.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a little bit weirder. I feel like if you click these, it'll show you the build path. It'll take you straight to the build path so you can like digest what you're building, and then you can go from there.
Well, the reason why I thought about it too is because, like, for example, back to the mobile scenario we were talking about. In the mobile scenario, you can, like, the game will, like, the option number 1 was the first one that you picked. And then there's an option 2 and an option 3. You can split build and start building into something else by simply clicking those other options, or just keep on following your first option and you're literally building your 6 items in order. If you just keep alt 1, alt 1, alt 1. Now, my thing is, let's say in a new player's perspective also, to counter argue, how is it helpful for a new player if, you know, let's say open shop screen, but they're not paying attention to that. They're just like, hey, just quick buy, quick buy, quick buy. He's like, fuck, I haven't bought something in 10 minutes, but I can't go back, bro. I don't got 3,400 yet. You get me?
Right.
Like, I see what you're saying there, but if we're hitting the quick buy option, like let's say we do click alt 1, I mean, I guess it's all gonna have to depend on the functionality of it, right? I mean, like, is it going to take you to there and then highlight the bottom ones and say start here, or is it going to do something else? I mean, like, maybe like the way you're saying it.
But is it going to be a smart quick buy, similar to that smart store that they got? You know what I mean? Like, is it literally just going, like, if you're building towards an item and that's the one that you selected, is it going to give you, let's say the 3 options it'll give me are 3 different pieces for fire cannon? You get me?
Okay. Yeah.
What if it splits it up that way for me? Not like, the only reason I bring it up is because this is implying that it pops up when you go back. Like, you haven't opened up your item shop.
Right.
You're
as soon as you're at base.
Yeah, it'll pop up in the corner. So with that in mind, that implies ease of access for the player. And a player might open up the shop and be like, oh, I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. Maybe they use a smart corner, or maybe they use this. So I can see where you're coming from, that it might be more problematic, because that is the issue. For example, in a mobile MOBA, you have those few individuals that know how to build and just stick to the one item. And then you have a shit ton of people that cross build because, yeah, fuck it, I can afford that one, let's go, and set themselves behind economy, etc., or whatever. But if this pops up, I can see newer players just relying more on this because it's a pop-up. What do pop-ups mean in most games? Tutorial, hints, help. You feel me?
Yeah, no,
so
definitely.
So if they see it pop up, I think they're going to rely more on that instead of let's open up the item shop for a new player. You get me?
Yeah. All right.
Not everybody. Yeah, not everybody, but I could definitely see it, because like I was saying, if it is remotely like a mobile MOBA, they give the different options for, hey, start building another item, start building this. This is all going to get to your late game 6 item end build that you put in the system. But you just might take different paths to it depending on how you decided to build. But I like it. I personally like it. I like that little pop-up and shit like that. I like that they're experimenting with it. I don't even know if they'll keep it, quite frankly. But I like it. You guys have anything you want to say about it? Or?
I like the little snippet at the end of it. The quick buy shop will also reflect players' custom builds in the future when we add the option for players to pre-plan their builds in the main menu. This is what we referred to 2 weeks ago. When we're talking about little bitten off piece of toast,
the bread.
Yeah, little bitten off piece of toast. So I told you, it's what you bake before you get there.
Bro, that's still a stretch and a half, but you might be right. Now, I'm actually a little bit confused about this one, and I'd like to get your guys' feedback on it, because we've seen the picture before about the masteries, or their mastery highlight, which is essentially was just a loading screen into the game, right? And we gave our feedback as to, possible ways to, change a couple things here and there, just feedback that we thought, names, profile pictures, whatever. But they mentioned, as you noticed in our past weekly blog post, we gave a small teaser of Hero Mastery System through our concept of our new loading screen, which included a form of a loading screen flare. In this image, we show what the default mastery flare will look like. However, they will change depending on your mastery rank with Hero. Are we supposed to assume that this is just a gold flare?
I would think so, yes.
And am I supposed to assume that the flare are just the little lines that show up?
Yeah, I was very confused on this picture too. I didn't know exactly what I was looking at. I was trying to figure out the differences between this and the old loading screen.
Because
I could see differences, but
because we know the number's gonna be there, right? Like as far as your mastery level, which is the number on top, right? We know the number's gonna be there regardless. Right. The only thing I can think of as far as flare, which is just like, a creative visual design, is the lines on top, the lines under your profile avatar, and then the lines above your character name, like stuff like that. So is this just how a general mastery flare? Maybe this isn't like a gold mastery. Maybe this is just, hey, I started my mastery, I unlock this. Maybe people without it just have the plain old picture with a number.
It does say default. It does say default mastery.
And if you think about it like this too, this most likely can be customized as to which one that you actually want to be showing at the same time. Because if you're at level 27, like their Greystone is right there, and you still have the default mastery flare, that seems a little bit lackluster, no? If you can't actually equip or change whichever one that you want to do. And then it also poses the question, where can you go from here? I feel like this would have been a little bit of a good time to tease, like, this is where you start and this is what you can do
for the future.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, this would have been a cool screen to see custom borders. It would have been a cool screen to show a bronze border, a silver border, a gold border based off of your progression. For example, we got a teaser, we'll talk about it in a second, about mastery skins. We did get a teaser on that. So why? Maybe it's just they haven't designed it. Like we're saying, maybe this is just the initial, hey, I accepted the mastery, kind of like in the Paragon days. You had to at least complete level 1. And then once you completed level 1, you unlock the mastery.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, it's a very good chance that they haven't done it yet, because this literally says post patch 13. So this is right after that we're talking about the mastery system. So there's probably something they haven't done yet. This is just a little, like I said, just a little flare, just a default flare. Hey, this is you're working on mastery. Yep. So
now,
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead, Bucket.
I feel like, even though I did say that this is something that we could be doing as far as like showing a little bit more, you're right. It does say post patch 13. I forgot that this isn't coming in past 13. So I'm gonna step back for a second and say I was being a little bit too greedy there, because I mean this is still a beefy freaking weekly update.
No, yeah. Like again, it's interesting because they give us what will come in patch 13, and then they're like, hey, this is stuff that's coming after. But they don't necessarily say anything about the release of the game, so we're probably to assume that it's going to come after, but it might come before the release of the game. Maybe that's a mechanic they want in there when the game fully releases. You get me? Maybe that's why they're talking about it now, to get feedback and stuff like that. But like, speaking of the mastery system, how do you guys feel about that gray? Is he an orc? Ogre? Do we know officially?
I've had this conversation. I don't know how many times. I know the answer, but I always get it wrong.
I feel like ogre would be the word because he definitely has Shrek World of Warcraft vibes. You know what I mean? But then again, in World of Warcraft, it's orcs. So. He said, "I'm gonna Google it. I'll let you know in a second."
I think he's an orc. I don't know. That's why I think he's an orc. I love this skin. This charcoal silver skin.
Dude, yeah, okay. It kind of makes sense. I would say weird because of the little fangs that he's got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyway, I think it looks dope as fuck. If this is gray with like white lines, bro, that might low key be a favorite skin.
I'm definitely gonna use it plenty of times when I play.
Bro, do you see the ropes are like solid white on the side hanging the?
Yep.
Right.
Hold on to his drums.
The spikes on his hand are white.
I thought it looked really cool, but I also thought it was a little wild that we just. It looks like Narbash went to the body shop and said, "Hey, give me silver," and they're like, "All right, cool. Here's the coat of paint," and they just it all over him. I thought it was fire, but I mean, just the concept in general made me laugh.
So I'm curious because this is presumably. Does it actually say it's a silver skin?
No, it says this is the lowest.
Ooh, that bodes well.
Below, we've provided an image of the lowest stage Narbash skin that will be available through the mastery system.
So I'm curious, are they doing the mastery system kind of battle pass wise? Like if you're a bronzy or if you just started your mastery system, maybe all you get is that little border. Maybe once you get them to level 5, now you unlock the silver skin. Lit. Maybe
that
when you get
amazing.
Maybe when you get to gold, now you unlock a fancier border. Level 10. They got an even doper skin for him. Oh shit, that's level 35. What the fuck? Okay, you get me? Like different increments, different rewards and stuff.
That's how Paladins does their masteries. You just kind of unlock certain things for that hero as they go on.
Because that would be great.
It does say the lowest stage Narbash skin, but below the picture it does say Narbash Silver Mastery Skin, implying that there are tiers, implying that there is no skin below silver in the tier. You might get avatars, you might get a border, something below the silver tier. But for you to actually get a skin as a... I can't with you, bro. But think about it. It's probably one of those things that, and I kind of get it from like a money and development standpoint, because they're taking time to create the skin, right? If they give it to if they give a skin immediately to every single player that just plays Narbash, they're not getting the full value out of it. But by tying it to a silver, the player has to go through the initial stages, get to bronze, then continue on towards silver. The amount of game time that they got out of that player just to reach the silver skin makes the silver skin worth giving away for free.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying there? Like at least the way I'm thinking about it.
No,
I think this being the lowest level that you can actually get to bodes so well for any sort of future skins that you get out of there. I mean, like, you guys remember the ones that they had for Paragon, like the mastery, whatever, the max mastery skin that you had for some of these things. Like I remember the Wukong one, obviously, because I'm a Wukong boy. It was like he had like red glowing eyes and he had like static coming off of his shoulders or whatever. Dude, that was amazing. So I'm ready to see how hard they can hit.
Yeah, honestly, they're only going to be limited by their creativity and what they can actually execute without breaking the game, low-key. But, dude, and we've seen different concepts. Let's say of Narbash specifically, for example. We've seen different concepts being teased. We've seen, several different community arts that are very, very well liked. For example, what is it, that flannel Narbash?
Flannel.
Oh yeah,
have you guys?
Basil. Basil did a flannel Narbash,
yeah.
and then Ryan had it for his PFP for a while.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about now. My fault. I thought you meant the one that was already in game.
He's wearing blue jeans and a flannel, plaid.
Yeah, bro, fucking gauges and shit. I was like, it looks dope as shit. I like it. I like it. So who knows? Maybe those, they're of course gonna bring out skins that are not tied to the mastery system.
Yeah, but maybe Basil will make another concept like bathing suit Narbash,
Bro, could you imagine? Oh my god. He has a life preserver that he's hitting. Bro, a lot.
Bro,
And then
get me in.
instead of drumstick, it's those floatable life preservers, the long ones, Baywatch
Oh,
style.
the noodles?
Yeah, the red ones.
Yeah.
Just something. So
Content makes itself.
yeah. So they got plenty. They can literally make up ideas for years. Like we're getting a Sevarog that golfs. Like, let's be honest. You feel me? But at the end of the day, I'm more curious to see what they're going to hide behind the mastery wall and what they're going to hide behind just like normal, currencies. Because I'd love to hear your guys' opinions. I would prefer the cooler skins to be stuck behind a mastery wall to make it like worth showing off the grind that you've put on that character. And it's like, yo, I fucking love that skin. That's dope as shit. I can only get it at Narbas level 60.
No, I agree. I like that, the grind, to show you the grind. I do like, because they've said right from the beginning that everything in the game is going to be able to be grinded for, right? Am I correct with that statement?
So
like you don't
the skins that were made for Paragon back in the day, those ones we will be able to earn in game, but there's no confirmation. If I can remember, I mean, that the new skins that come out from SMS will be earned by Blue Matter. There's no confirmation of that, because that
that
some of the new ones for the T4s, we still have to like pay certain coins for them, like Cyberquang.
Okay.
Now that one we can't earn in game. I'm pretty sure. Like you can get that one marks, right?
Well, I know they give it away through the special event, and I think you might be able to use skin marks on it. But that's a very good point. They actually they were very clear when they said all previous Paragon skins you can earn for free.
Yeah,
and they did say previous. There are there are going to be certain skins in there. I want to say the military bundle is actually one of those as well. That it's like, hey, it has to be through money. You get me?
Well, that
I'm not opposed to it.
That's a different situation though, because that one, the whole point of that one was to raise money for COVID. So I mean, that one has to be money. I mean, that how you can't just
true.
Hey, I played a game and got this, and I donated nothing towards COVID relief.
But it does kind of like bode for that, the fact that the what you said, like everything can be earned in game. And that's it. There are going to be those outliers. That I mean, I even though what's it called?
I mean, as far as business goes too, it's smart to have those outliers. I'll give you an example. Smite will come out with a dope ass fucking skin, and then be like, hey, the only way to get this is through a loot box. Or we'll have an event where it's like, hey, you need to open up 10 loot boxes a week for like 5 weeks, and then you get that skin. Like that, very lucrative monetization features. But for example, that's a skin that you have like a 0.00.
Isn't that like everybody complains about the loot box?
So wait. Yes and no. And okay. I'm a huge advocate of making money for a game. If they would have kept loot boxes strictly for skins, by all means, whatever, it happens, visuals. But when you incorporate a loot box and then tie it into the core mechanic of the game of building, deck building cards, and then you isolate specific cards behind a paywall to the point where I'm sitting here and I'm like, I only got 2 Rust Breakers and I'm a carry. That motherfucker's on his 4th Rust Breaker. I either got to get lucky as shit or I got to pay some money to be able to be at his exact point.
So there are also exceptions to the rule, but there are also some people who do it right, like Overwatch. I don't know if you guys play Overwatch ever, but every single loot box in that game is all just only skins. But then you have, I don't know if you guys played League back in the day. You actually did have to pay, I'm pretty sure, for the runes that you had back in the rune pages. But you could also earn them in game. It was kind of like a both, but they weren't like loot boxes. You just played the game, and the more you played, then you were able to get like more runes. And that was more of an exception to the rule, because like without them, they weren't that impactful. They weren't necessary to play the game, kind of how Paragon was.
And you mentioned League of Legends. Don't forget, League of Legends, the way it works even currently is they have shards. If you acquire this shard, you can get a random skin at a discounted price. You're welcome. I'm saving you money. But if you don't like this shard, you can accumulate a certain amount of shards, give those back to me, and I will give you a random skin for free, but you have 0 choosing.
on top of that, actually, even if you do have the shards, no matter what shard you have, I'm pretty sure they changed it. I'm not. No, actually, I'm 100% sure they changed it. You can actually earn any for the skins. You don't get it at a discounted price anymore. You can actually just use the blue essence that you have or the orange essence or whatever I think that it is, and then just unlock it outright. I've done that with a ton of stuff.
I was gonna say, and so if it is orange essence, you can't just buy orange essence, for example. Orange essence you only get from dismantling specific things. So again, that comes through a grind. Like I might have had to spend 500 hours just to be able to afford this one skin, but at the end of the day, who's really winning? The guy with the skin or the company that got the 500 hours?
But that right there is my point. I thought that's what SMN. I could be wrong, and because you said it, you guys were saying that it was like previous Paragon skins, but I thought that's what SMS was saying. Like, we're gonna make it to where everything in the game, if you do the grinding, you're gonna get it, and nothing's gonna be behind a paywall. That's the way I understood it. And I could be wrong. I mean, anybody comment in the sections down in the comment section below and let me know if you guys know the answer to that, because I would like to know, because that's the way I understood it.
Yeah, it is up in the air, because you bring up a good point too, because it still makes perfect sense. If you have a newer skin, you can simply just, like they do, the new skins have a higher paywall. We've seen when they release a new skin and I don't know where it's like, hey, you need 15,000 matter for this one. It's like, god damn.
Right.
But
I think
it makes sense because it's a newer skin also. So
yeah, I think also I want to dial back to two things. The one where you said you want the coolest skins to be to be behind this like mastery system. I feel like, yes, there has to be something worth it down the road. You can't just throw a low tier skin at the end of the road and expect people to be like, oh yeah, this is something I'm working for. The mains will do it, but they won't be happy about it, especially when Sevarog over here gets in a beautiful skin and like now you got the Narbash mains over here. They're just like, bro, are you serious? Like, come on.
How come he got the cool skin?
Cool too.
Yeah,
exactly, right. And then
like
you also
Magma
have
Grux compared to like,
bro,
like
oh
a like a mastery decker. It was just like, hey man, this is not the same. This is not the same.
Right.
Magma Grux is a fire skin, no pun.
Right.
Now also pose the question, if there is something like that, I guess this is just all theory anyway, if it was a battle pass style system, should there be an addendum to them at the end of, like, sometimes, like, would there in a different season be a little bit of a continuation for those people who want to keep building mastery, people who we should reward them again with another skin, you know?
Okay.
I mean, like,
so that's interesting. Like, well, what if somebody reaches, let's say, Narbash level 100? They unlock everything within their mastery, but they still, like, you're talking about like opening up the potential for grinding even further. So, I mean, the only thing I can think of along those lines, and it would just be so much work, I don't even know if it's feasible from a business standpoint, would be a mastery reset. Like, let's say they prepare a certain amount of content for every character for a year's worth, right?
Yeah.
And now they know, for example, till February 2022, they don't have to touch it. They already have their shit lined up. They got a few people working on future content, but it's not a priority. You get me? They already have their year's worth of content lined up. And just make it publicly known, hey, the reset is in February. So you're going to have players that join late and they're like, damn, I wasn't able to complete much. Damn, I better grind on this next one. Are you going to have people, you get what I'm saying? Like, that's the only way that I could possibly see it working. But that just, it literally is just duplicating the workload every year. And I can only see it being feasible on a yearly basis, because unless they want to do something smaller like bronze, silver, gold, and it's only like 30 levels and it's like 3 months, 10 levels per month, easily achievable. You get what I'm saying? Unless they want to do something like that, and every 3 months it resets. Even then, it's just, that's a lot of work, a lot of content production. When the company grows and they actually get the manpower to be able to do so, I can see them easily coming up with ideas like that. But with the current staff, I'm honestly just happy we're getting a mastery system, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
something going on with that. The fact that you're even like saying that, oh yeah, there's something coming in the works for this, has to mean like they had to work on skins for every single hero so far, and maybe already have the the down the line ones that you would get for that. So that means like that opens so many like ideas and doors for our imagination for what's to come.
And this is post 13. When you think of it like that, let's say 20 characters, right? If you're and that's the lowest tier skin is a silver. Let's say you're at minimum just doing 2 skins, the silver and the gold, right? Then from there, you're already looking at 40 skins. Now, granted, they could be simple reshading like this one. Or maybe the other one might be a little bit more intricate, but the more intricate, the more work it takes. Even a recolor, putting that into the game, putting it in the options and the store, etc. For 40 skins of a recolor, that's still quite a bit of work when you only got maybe 1 to 3 people working on it.
Yeah.
Right.
You feel me? Like 1 to 3 people working on it, it still might take them 4 or 5 months just to do reskins. For every character. That's if they don't add another one. And then when they add another one, that's another thing to consider. So, like, I'm not going to get too picky on that side because, you know, I'm at least happy at the fact that we got some of that, you know, something. And they're talking about mastery. They tease the skin again. I like this update because they're actually showing us shit, but they're leaving the door open for more potential. Right?
I do want to say something though, back to your question about would to leave the best behind a mastery, you know, level or whatever. I think you got to balance it out because you're gonna have your mains that are gonna play.
We're talking.
You know, you're gonna have your mains like us that we're gonna play this game. You know, and we're gonna go for that mastery level. But then you're gonna have the people who aren't gonna want to master Greystone. You know, but they do want some cool skins for Greystone. You know, so you're gonna have to balance it a little bit. I mean, no, maybe it doesn't have to be the dopest skin, you know.
Well, it still could be super cool. Like they can let's say equal skins. Let's say they make 2 equally dope as fuck skins, and just one of them is on the normal store, one of them is on the mastery. Because thinking about it, as you guys talk more from a monetary value, you still want to rack in those dollars at the end of the day to continue to get continued support on production. And if you hide it, if you had all the best content behind a grind paywall, like sure, you get more player base, but you can get 100 million players playing every single day that don't spend a single dollar. Are you really going to progress as a company? You follow?
Right. Yep.
So I get it. I do find it interesting, like what they actually wrote right after, talking about the new map. I'm not 100% sure why they just gave this quick little paragraph on the new map. I would have rather just them not say anything at all, because they say, even the patch being focused for our core team, we're still working towards our new map every day, and we cannot wait to start showing it off in the future. If you'd like to know more about False New Map, check out our past post where they talk about it. And so they're actually just sending people to the Microsoft Paint drawing that they had. You know what I mean?
Is that one where I didn't click on it. I know it's the dev blog, right?
It's the original post where Sofin broke it down. He broke like that blog was great to read.
Oh yeah.
But as far as the picture that they showed us in reference to the current map, it's actually just paint lines being put in. You know, just a rough drawing. But I'm like if you're showing all this, quite frankly, I would have just at the conclusion of everything, like at the very, very fucking end on the outro, be like, hey, we can't wait to bring you guys more news about the map. Bam! And just kind of leave it in there. You know what I mean?
I can see that.
I just don't know why, like, besides the technical aspects and, you know, like knowing all the stats, all the comparisons, like, you know, the size to movement ratio, etc. that they talk about, I don't know many people that might actually be interested in that. But besides that fact right there, I don't know why they would have linked to the previous one. You feel me?
No, you're right. They definitely didn't need to do that. I mean, the only reason I think the only benefit to doing that is if for the person who has not read, you know, that dev blog, and you know, because it, like you said, it was a great dev blog. It broke it down really well and explained everything. Yeah. Sylphin did a great job. I just wish they would have brought it in audible form so I could have heard him saying it, because it's Sylphin. But that's the only reason that's there, because you can literally get rid of that whole paragraph, and then as you scroll down farther and where it gets to says and more, just have a bullet point, new map, and that's it. Don't have to do anything else, because then you know that this is what's coming, you know. So no, you're right. You're definitely right in that situation. That it kind of is just a, hey, we're working on this. Go read this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that. They could have literally not had that. I would have been happy. I do like the bi-weekly balance passes. The fact that they're mentioning that as far as bug fixes and everything, you're at least going to get an update every 2 weeks, whether it be an update about one thing, whether it be something significant. Let's say something is kind of broken. There aren't hot fixes, so to speak. Those are always there. Get
him out.
Oh my god.
Thank you.
But for example, there are hot fixes, but you at least know it's like, hey, if it's nothing urgent, we'll probably see something about it in the next 2 weeks. If it doesn't show up, maybe it'll be in the next 2 weeks. If it's not there after 4 weeks, strange matters. What is going on?
Yeah. Wake up.
So
I love the fact that we know we're gonna be bi-weekly. You're gonna be something, you know, like you're not gonna be sitting here with 3 months of a broken hero, probably, you know, like there's gonna be changes.
And be mindful like this: bi-weekly updates. But I mean, balance passes. You know, like you're using terminology, but then we're still getting weekly updates.
Yep.
You feel me?
Yep.
So there's a good chance that the 2 weekly updates are probably going to be talking about what's coming in the balance patch eventually.
Yep.
You feel me? Or at least they might talk a little bit about it. Maybe have one of them talking about what's coming.
I feel like in the time to come, once we start getting these bi-weekly balance passes, we might dial back. And this is based on no information at all. I'm thinking about the fact, like, how long can we keep up the pace of the weekly patches? How much content are we actually sitting on? So when this stuff actually does come, we might start going to bi-weekly updates just to actually, like, you know, keep us like on the alternate path.
Yeah,
this update's perfect.
Bi-weekly balance and then bi-weekly updates from SMS, maybe alternating.
This update is a perfect showing of that, and I could be wrong, but this is my opinion. We're talking about how we love this update because it showed us what's coming up in patch 13 and showing more. Why are they showing more? Are they showing more because they're running out of what to show us for patch 13? Are we running out of content for, like, so now we need to, you know, just to kind of make this still an update patch, we got to give you some information what's coming up afterward.
Well,
so next week, like, what are we gonna see?
To be devil's advocate, maybe that is the case. Maybe they're running out of stuff, or maybe they're just holding stuff back because they're like, hey, you know what? We need at least another 2-3 weeks of updates.
Right.
So maybe they're grabbing maybe they're grabbing what they have, distributing it, and be like, hey, because honestly, the new map, that's a filler. Bi-weekly, I like it. Contests and Twitch drops, sure. I mean, that's already been talked about.
I like this for one reason. I like this for a reason, because of the contest Twitch drops, the very bottom line. All right. This is to get people to play the game again. They want people to play this game. But if you stream it, you're playing it. You know, so they want people to stream it. You know, like we got streamers that, you know, are not playing right now, you know, because of the stale content. And they get back to the bi-weekly balance passes. We're looking at stale content because of stuff that's not happening right now. We're not getting patch notes and stuff like that, so it's getting stale. So that bi-weekly balance passes is going to help with the, you know, keeping the game not being stale. That's going to be good.
That's true, because we would play just to test out a new item and see how it is.
Yep. Yeah. So, you know, so that's that.
Purple items.
I can see the value of having that section just to try and get people. But here's the thing, I get you, but that's almost like throwing a fishing line out there, but there's nothing on the hook. It's like, hey, we want people to play, we want people to stream, but the update's not here yet.
Oh, no, but they've been very adamant with saying that they're not worried about the player base at this moment. So I think, because this is post patch 13, I think post patch 13 they're going to start worrying about player base. So this is one of the things they're going to do to help with player base.
I can see that. I can see that.
You think we might start hitting the ground running a little bit harder?
I think so. Okay. I think there's, talking with our little partner, we had our little partner talk with Ryan, and there's going to be some more advertising and stuff kind of going out there. That's going to be nice marketing. That's what marketing.
There's definitely stuff coming for sure.
Yeah.
That's actually really interesting. Again, I don't know if I necessarily need to see the contest switch straps here. You feel me? Like, unless the update is coming within the week and they don't have a time to say that, I would rather them leave that out for the week of, like, you get me? To actually bring some relevancy to it, because I don't care about the contest and Twitch drops if they're not going to come for another 5 months. Feel me?
Right. No, I got you.
So, but moving forward from that, they also mentioned that they have many projects being worked on. Now, I like what I see. I want to actually ask you guys real quick, which one out of all these kind of like stands out for you? Like, that one is like, oh, they're working on that?
Favor system rework.
Really? Okay.
Really? Right? Like, even me, like, really? Why that one? Out of anything, bro. Like, there's plenty in here.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. Is this... Because favor system rework, I feel like is going to end up also going in line with... I don't think it's on here right now, but I'm pretty sure it was in the last one, aspect system rework. I think they're going to come around the same time.
Aspect system rework is right above... it's in there.
It is in there?
It's right below.
It's right above tutorials.
Oh, I see it. Yep. My fault. Yeah, that the aspect system rework and the favor rework is what I really want, because honestly, right now, killing raptors is fine. Don't die for it. Don't go in there and try to contest it. Honestly, if the enemy team has already like basically got it unlocked, it's not the best objective. The favor is not really that crazy. It only like really ramps up if you get to the really late game and you start getting like basically another item's worth of stats off of it, which I feel like is what the favor system is really designed to do. But I don't see that. I don't see that, and I don't go like, oh yeah, this is a really great system. I feel like it's just something that's just like, oh yeah, extra stats. Yeah, it does. And I think it should be moved around. I think we should change it.
Is it ironic that what you're talking about? You're talking about the favor system rework because Raptors is not don't die for it.
Prime objectives.
But it's literally right in the middle of favor and aspect rework. You could unfavor.
Favor is Raptors is right in between.
Raptors right in the middle of those two. Like, it's like, hey, we need to put this one here. Because favor goes to aspects. Favor doesn't go to Raptor, but you get, I just literally play it right there.
What excites me is the fact that you see Raptor rework, but then separately you see pre-prime objective. What other objective am I getting besides Raptor? That's not prime.
Well, if you think about League of Legends, I mean, like Rift Herald's a big thing, but that'd be crazy, like what we could be doing.
What is that? Because I don't do League, so
Rift Herald
just started mobile, so I still don't know.
You wanna go?
Okay. Yeah. So Overprime actually implemented this into their successor project. But Rift Herald essentially is, imagine in the Prime Pit, before the 25-minute mark or whatever, there is another boss that is there, right?
Okay.
Baby or Prime.
Yeah, like a baby or Prime, low-key, a different creature. So what you do is you kill that creature, and the person that kills that creature now controls a Rift Herald. What the Rift Herald is, you can go to a lane and activate it. It summons a huge monster that helps you push that lane.
And then when it gets to that thing, there's an extra thing that it does. It sacrifices a little bit of health to run it into the tower and do massive damage. And that thing is insane.
And it tanks the tower for you while you hit the towers.
Okay.
So now,
interesting.
I don't really want to talk about Overprime in a video about fault, but it is definitely worth mentioning. Like, you seem shocked when I said it, Bucket. But the way that they did it in Overprime is actually they brought back the old school dunk mechanic for Prime. So you can either dunk Prime defensively on your side of the map and you get the Prime buff, right? Or you can dunk it offensively, which is on the enemy side of the map, and now Prime spawns in mid lane as a minion and pushes down mid lane as a Rift Herald to help you take mid lane, but it only happens mid lane. If the mid inhib is down, now you got another Prime rushing down mid with no
down core, taking the core down. Damn.
Cool.
Okay,
it's a super cool mechanic.
That sounds like false fucking what are those fucking siege minions they had, the when you take down the inhibitor, those fucking two minions they had, those super minions,
superhero minions.
And you can't kill those
Fucking
things.
hit him for like 3K worth of damage. That motherfucker's still alive, about to kill me.
Like, yeah, it's like, come on.
So-
I hated those things.
So
Another
here's the
hero.
thing. It's not uncommon that other games have done a Rift Herald mechanic, right? I definitely think that they can come up with something similar for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe even like a character model of the sorts. Like, honestly, they could probably just grab a minion, change his character model a little bit or whatever, and then just have like a super swole like creature coming down. You know what would be actually cool that I would like? Imagine if they put a new creature in there, but it was a turtle-based creature. So it just slowly moved down the lane, but it was tanky as shit. You feel me? Like try to
That's
incorporate something. You know what I mean?
I thought about something. What about instead of it being, you know, an Or Prime or a turtle, you just don't put Wukong in the game, and that's what you get. You get Wukong just as that character.
He said, "I'm out."
Get me out. All right. So you asked me what
man.
you asked what I'm looking forward to. I can't pick. There's 3 of them on here that I think are going to be great for the growth of the game, and I don't know. I can't. So I'm looking at training mode, AI
Okay.
game modes, and playable tutorial. Those 3 for new players and growing
That's
this
huge.
game
Retention.
are huge. I think that I can't pick between those 3 which one is the better one, because AI game mode, I would love AI game modes. Understand how
Like the new
abilities are
hero
hidden
works or whatever.
You know, because I went and played Morgash when she first dropped, and I got destroyed. I watched somebody play Morgash, and they owned everybody. Like, Morgash is OP. I play Morgash, and I'm like, where's she OP? How was she OP? What are you guys doing? Like, I'm hitting buttons and nothing's
I
working.
missed something somewhere. Yeah, I feel that.
Right.
Mhm.
And so the AI game mode worked great. Training mode, you know, I think that, you know, just to kind of go in and mess around. I think those 3 together, I have to pack them as a package deal. I think those would be great for
I can
the.
see that. That'll be dope.
Mhm.
Now, I want to talk about it, the subject of new hero, because we got this whole hops thing, which is actually hilarious as shit.
Oh, we're getting to the best part.
Right? hilarious as shit. As far as April 1st, I'm glad that they threw something in there. You feel me? Now, it would be fucking awesome if they actually come out with a rabbit-based hero down the road, and they just gave us this little cartoon as a troll. You feel me? What if this is actually a hero that they're working on, but it's gonna be this swole-ass, buff-ass rabbit with the bug teeth and shit?
Hell yeah.
Who the fuck knows? You feel me?
I mean,
But-
that's the thing is, like, I read this. I'm like, all right, you look at the character, and the character model is like,
It's like, hey, that's a troll. But when you read it, it's like,
but when
there's
you
a lot
read
of
the
thought
abilities, I'm like,
into
that's,
this.
that
Like the
could work.
passive, actives, like either somebody was very bored and he's like, hey, yo, I got it. I can do it. I could come up with something. No worries, bro. I'm just going to do it while I watch, you know, Godzilla vs. Kong. No worries. Or it might actually mean something. I like the fact that we don't know. But I actually think, personally, I think that entire hop section is 100% a troll. And the real hero hype is directly above it. In that white picture with the blue blowing arc, because I've quite frankly changed my mind. That's Howitzer's chess piece, 100%.
Ooh.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking Howitzer. I was thinking Howitzer could be Greystone's shield in a different, you know, if they're talking about skin rework or whatever.
I could see that. Or what if this is a new Crunch skin they're working on? Crunch has been highly desired for a while. What if this is a new like training dummy Crunch? Because we do see the yellow caution on the sides. You see that? You see yellow caution tape.
WinduTheMace out here, man. I didn't even know that.
Bruh, you see yellow caution tape. What if this is a training dummy Crunch? Just like those training dummies that they throw in car accidents and shit like that?
Yep.
What if this is a training dummy Crunch skin that they're working on? And the reason why it's energized is because the training dummy's alive.
Or training dummy Wukong. I see where you're getting at, man.
Bro,
Yeah.
I fucking can't with this thing. Get me out. Get me out. He's like, okay. Bro, No, honestly, I really do think it's howitzer. Like, my main thing for believing it's howitzer is simply because the way it's not even the general shape. When you look at the smaller armor plates, is what I'm saying. Like, if you look at the top, there's a small armor plate that honestly just looks like it won't go too far up higher based on what we're seeing, because we see almost 2 clavicle shaped armor pieces extending to the sides, right?
Right.
Beneath that, to the left and the bottom left and bottom right of the circle area, we see now, again, 2 smaller armor pieces, almost to distinguish, like, hey, this is the end of a chest piece and the beginning of an abdomen piece. You feel me? Usually individual plates like that are only placed to show differentiation or a different actual piece of armor. So I am, and then the fact that if you look closely on the far right of that picture, behind the metal, you actually see a cloth-like fabric with what looks like a metal tube. So that's why I'm looking at it, and I'm immediately thinking it's either going to be howitzer. I'm probably howitzer, maybe a second as a crunch skin, because I can definitely see them doing like armor plates, you know, like some sort of fabric covering, because don't forget, howitzer low-key was a suit, so to speak. You feel me?
Right.
Suits have armor plates. They have the mesh pieces, the parts that need to be flexible for moving.
Yep.
Right?
Right.
So, and honestly, the caution tape that I see on there it's just awesome, considering the theme that they might actually be going for, because it honestly looks like it might be some sort of training skin, or maybe it's just caution for battle armor. We've all seen something that's incredibly dangerous that has a little bit of a caution sign on it, or a caution strip or something. So I definitely could see this being a battle armor for howitzer with the caution strips. All right, I said my piece. Y'all can say what you want.
I had to look at it. I was trying to really imagine what it was. It kind of has a shield. It's definitely armor. I was trying to think of who has the shield, who has armor. Howitzer was my first go-to when I saw it. I'm like, all right, I think it's howitzer. I was, ooh, but that could be like a space suit, Greystone shield. So I was looking at that. I was like, but then I started thinking shield. I was like, maybe it's a new Terra skin, because we got her with the shield, her armor. That could be, but I don't know.
Well, you know what? You just brought up an interesting idea. Maybe it is a spacesuit Greystone, because we know Greystone as the dragon, the tiger, whatever the skin is, he has a creature in the front and then whatever the hell in the back. Tell me that centerpiece doesn't look like eyes and a nose.
Oh, it definitely does.
That centerpiece kind of looks like a robotic figure. So it could be. I find it unlikely, but it could be. Maybe this is
Greystone just to get a quick view on him. I did not get what I asked for.
I did not.
I don't want to.
I'm over here looking at properties now.
Right. Oh, okay. All right. That could have gone a lot worse. All right. All right. So honestly, guys, this has taken a lot longer than we expected. We're already at almost an hour and 20 minutes. So if anything, we're gonna call it. I appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to include all the links down below for these guys. Go follow them on Twitch, YouTube, etc., all that. Anything you guys want to say before we say our goodbyes to the community as an overall?
From me? Oh,
go ahead, Bucket. You. No. Guess first, man. Guess first.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for having me. I know this is a little bit last minute to have me in here, but I had a lot of fun. It was really nice. Good, right? I mean, y'all had a lot of nice insights from me. I mean, when I first came in here, I was like, I'm ready. I'm pretty sure I got everything I need for this. And y'all just kept pointing out stuff that I missed, so I'm pretty happy I came.
Right, we
that's why we love doing this.
Yeah, we have too much fun breaking shit down. But then again, that also comes with the positives and the negatives. By the way, Strange Matters, get your homies on check. If you want to know what I'm talking about, DM me. I'll just put it that way. Go ahead, Cooch.
Cooch's Custom Tuesdays. I didn't point this out because I think the playable tutorial is better, but in the and more, we're getting an ARAM mode, so that's gonna be great for Cooch's Custom Tuesdays. Let's go.
True.
Fuck yeah.
But all right, guys. Much love. I appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate everybody that actually made it this long, because holy hell, we went on a rant. But until the next video.
Peace.